Okay, so I guess we can start the interview. This is great. Happy. Thank you for having me. This is an awesome experience.
I'm happy to do it, man.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do for the interview is I'm going to do a question sandwich. Everybody loves sandwiches, so I'm going to do a...
Dude, this is live right now. Bread's not good for you. Is this like...
It's a whole wheat.
Is it
a
whole wheat
sandwich?
Is it like,
with like
instead
lots
of
nuts.
bread, it's lettuce? It's wrapped in lettuce. It's like the protein. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Thanks. It's got some really good cheese on it, you know, some like brie or something. I don't know. Yeah, so question sandwich, serious question more, you know, make you think, fun one, serious question, and so on. So the first question.
It's like a question club sandwich.
Yes.
Layers.
Yes, it's got multiple layers.
Nice.
Actually, the bread is probably like, yeah, it's the bread. It's the meat. You know, it's not the meat, but it's...
But I get it, yeah.
Okay, so the first question. What do you think Canada's greatest resource? And because you're not a politician, you can't say the Canadian people.
Because I'm not, well, I think our greatest resource is and are our values. I think that we're not a solo artist, we're a band. And that this country likes to win together. And I like the fact that we have a sense of community, and a lot of countries around the world really promote the individual, and that's fine. I'm not really that into the individual because the individual isn't nearly as interesting or impressive to me as the group. So I think our values those are intrinsic to who we are, and I think that's what it is. So the people are wonderful as long as they go by that set of values, and those set of values, which is be about the group, not about the individual.
Yep, I fully agree. I mean, the Olympics were a great example of that.
Yeah.
There were so many people. You could walk down the street to anybody and just high-five them, have a conversation. That was connection. That was community.
It was amazing. And what was cool about that was, and I know everybody talked about Canadian pride, and I don't like nationalism, right? So I don't like it when people are all like, rah-rah their country. I think that's kind of scary and kind of missing the point. What I like about it in Canada is that we're really nationalistic about sports and beer commercials, and that's kind of funny to me. Like, that's the safe place to be nationalist, right? So I liked it during the Olympics because I was in a bar on Granville in the afternoon watching Kevin Martin win the gold medal in curling. And when he threw the final stone, everybody knew that it was the winning rock. He threw it, and everybody who had never watched curling before started high-fiving, and we just knew it. And it was a great time. We started singing "Oh Canada," and it was good. But it was about sports. It was fun.
Yep. Cool. Well, thanks. That's great answers. Thank you, sir.
Happy, sir. Happy to do it. I just love the fact that I don't have to think of the questions. This is awesome.
So now this is the next one, is the easy one. So is there any activity that you have not done yet, but have really wanted to get out into, like an outdoor activity, indoor activity, those sort of sports activities? Something you haven't done but know you're really going to like?
Yeah, I'd love to spend more time. I like to scuba dive. I haven't really done it, but I'd like to. I'm kind of fascinated with the underwater stuff. I think when I was little, I saw that movie, The Abyss and Leviathan, and I'm like, I got to go down there. Plus, I believe that all of life's questions are answered on this planet, right? There is no there is no anything else other than this, so the ocean has got to have all the answers. So I want to spend more time there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, we have a world-renowned area for scuba diving and other aquatic ocean activities, so yeah.
See, I grew up in Toronto, and there's a lake in Toronto called Lake Ontario, which you've heard of, but I've never actually been in it. And I'm 38 years old. I've been in that city, and I live 2 minutes from the lake, and I've never touched the water. So we have a very different relationship with the environment than you have here.
Yeah.
So I look at the water and go, that's probably really polluted. I'm not going in there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Cool, thanks. So third question.
So this is the serious one now.
This is a serious one. Like, actually, this is probably the pinnacle of the serious questions. So of all...
Wait, hold on. If this is the pinnacle of the serious questions, which part of the sandwich is it? Is it the meat? Like, is it what kind of meat is it? Is it...
This is definitely a piece of bread.
It's the bread.
It's the middle bread.
Okay.
And it's definitely whole wheat with lots of nuts on the
cool.
outside.
All right,
okay,
cool.
So Canada faces a lot of sustainability issues. Now, climate change is not really a sustainability issue. It's a result of our activities. Now, what is the greatest sustainability issue or limitation of sustainability that Canadians have or face?
The political will. There's a lack of political will in this country to do anything about it. We don't vote like it. Like, Canadians always talk about how the environment matters to them, but it doesn't really, because they don't vote for environmentally responsible politicians. So we say we care about it, but we don't really care about it, right? And we don't care about it enough to do something about it. So I think that's the biggest problem. The technology exists. Everything's out. We can build it. We have the technology to do anything. We know how to make this an even slightly more sustainable reality. And we don't. So everybody talks about corporate responsibility, and it's on their shoulders, but it should be on a citizens' shoulders. But really, if the government doesn't create a reality, then that's going to be the biggest issue. There's nothing else. And plus, like we did a thing on the oil sands the other day, and I got a ton of response on Twitter. People going, "Oh, it's anti-Alberta." No, it's not. It's not about Alberta. It's about this one thing. And this country gets really defensive. We get so defensive because we're very Canadian in that respect. So everything is like, "Oh, you can't talk about us." And I think that's a problem. That's a result, and that contributes to a lack of political will to actually make it a better place, a more sustainable place.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say this, though. You guys have figured it out in BC. You know, you guys are doing it right. We don't do it in Ontario very well. Our politicians promise it, and they never do it. You guys have kind of figured out. I mean, your mayor rides on a bicycle every day. My mayor's trying to get rid of bikes. So there's a big difference with the way you guys have your city and the way we have our city.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely, I fully agree that, you know, the solutions are there. We have the opportunity to take them, and it is the political will to
Our country actively dissuades other countries from participating in a reasonable environmental dialogue. Yeah. Like, we are the country that actively works against a plan. You go to Copenhagen, go to anywhere else. You know, I know it's easy to blame the Conservative government because they're very public about it, but Jean Chrétien and Paul Martin had Kyoto, and they didn't ratify it. That wasn't their deal. So this isn't just a partisan issue in this country. It's an Ottawa issue. That's not what they care about.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. Okay, so back to a fun question.
Was that too heavy? I got too heavy.
No,
right?
No, this is good.
I get pissy about politics in this country. I listened to too many Clash records when I was growing up, so I get angry about politics.
Well, it's great. It's good. You're passionate, obviously. So this fourth question: which superhero power would you prefer to have? Now, there's four options. There's flight.
Yep.
Super speed.
Yep.
Invisibility.
Yep.
Or super strength. Now there's parameters for each one.
Right.
Super speed.
Yep.
You actually get like faster cognition and neurotransmitter speed.
Right.
So you get to like run faster, and you guys also think faster.
When I do that, can I make the $6 Million Man noise? That.
Absolutely. You can get an iPod that says like just a
nice.
person. Yeah. So flight is as fast as you can go that your body can take it. So
what kind of elevation can I hit?
Well, that's the thing. Whatever your body can take.
Well, my body can't take that. Can it really?
Well, if you can go up to like the space, up to space,
yeah.
then
Okay.
But you'll probably freeze. So super strength. Let's just say 10 humans.
That's all right. That's 10 humans.
Yeah, 10 humans.
So that means 11 guys can get together and kick my ass in a bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I have the strength of 10 men, 11 guys can beat me. All right.
Yeah. And the last one, invisibility. It's just how it is. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. So.
Well, you didn't offer me my favorite one, which is Aquaman breathing underwater.
Let's be serious here. Come on.
But dude, that would be. You want me to fly in space? I would take super speed. I race motorcycles, and my biggest challenge is I can't get past a certain. Like I maxed out last spring at 255 kilometers an hour, and I don't believe in anything religious, but I thought I saw God at 255, and at one point I'm just like, and my body's shaking and everything's shaking, and this guy pulls up beside me, and he just pops a wheelie and takes off. And I remember, and I'm on a bike going fast, and I looked at him and went, "You're a bastard." That's all I could say. So I would like super speed.
Yeah, absolutely. Super speed is my favorite.
But I could think faster too, right? And feel faster?
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah, totally.
Super
and you can
speed.
you can just get like a pedal bike and like attach it to a hang glider and then just like totally just
You've thought
propel
this through.
yourself. Oh yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
thought this through.
Obviously.
Have you drawn? That's all right. I like this. I'm taking speed.
I want to know what you think though.
I'm down.
So last question.
Yep. That's it. Just one more question.
Yeah.
Just keep asking. Just keep asking them.
Okay. So.
This is what happens when I do my show. The floor director or the person in charge will give me a countdown, and they'll say, "You got 2 minutes left," and I'll look at them and I'll nod. Like, I got 1 minute left, and then I'll stop looking at them, and then I'll just keep on going.
Cool. So last question.
Yep.
You've been with the CBC for quite a while.
How many years? I started there in the end of
That's not the question.
End of 04. So yeah, 6-7 years.
What is the greatest opportunity you see with the CBC? What do they have going right now that could really help them propel them to a very prominent...
Aside from Claire Martin and Garfield?
And you got to be quick about this.
I think what CBC has is... It's one of the reasons why I ended up moving to CBC. I'd never in a million years thought about working at CBC. It never even occurred to me. If CBC called me, the truth is I didn't call them back. Like I didn't grow up thinking CBC was a place where I could be, because guys like me aren't really on television very often, and we're generally at that point weren't on a place like CBC. But I was at an event one day, and I saw, you know, like one of these vinyl posters, and at the bottom of the poster, it showed all the sponsors at this event, all the broadcast sponsors. And I was getting ready to leave Much Music at the time. I didn't know where to go. I had a job offer in the States. I was going to maybe go to ESPN, and I thought, okay, that'll be kind of fun. But I looked at all the logos of the networks, and I thought they all do good things, right? And in Canada, our corporate news is still pretty good. You know, CTV does a great job, Global does a great job, CBC does a great job. The news is pretty good in Canada. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. Just stay over here. Stay over here. Stay over here. Otherwise, she'll rush you up. Just don't look at her. So
she's got laser eyes, man.
I know. They're strong. I can feel them. They're going through me to get to you. So I started to look at each broadcaster, and I thought, what's their number one responsibility? What's the number? Like, if you just erase the idea that people want to make a good show and that they hope to make a good show, or erase all of that, what is the number one responsibility? And every single one, the number one responsibility as a publicly traded company was to increase the value of the share for the shareholder. So if you own stocks in that company, that was your number one responsibility as a company. And that's cool. Then I looked at the CBC logo, and I thought, what's their number one responsibility? And it wasn't that. It was to make programming that worked with people. Now, you want to, like, I like it when the network sells more advertising because the money has to go back into programming. So I thought, well, that's cool. Like, that's kind of a liberating reality for television, that their number one responsibility isn't to make somebody else money. The number one responsibility is to make a show that'll either reflect you or challenge you or entertain you, pick a fight with you, support you, be there for you, whatever. And I think, you know, on 9/11, the reason why most Canadians went to watch Mansbridge is because that's who you want to be with when everything's going wrong. And I looked at that and I thought, that's the greatest opportunity for CBC, is to maximize that. They have their number one responsibility is them, is you, is me. I still pay for that place too, right? So, and we don't spend that much. We spend like $34 a year as a taxpayer, so that ain't that much money. And it's an opportunity that nobody else has. Nobody else has that in broadcasting in Canada. And I think they don't even have that in the States. So we have to really, really use that, I think.
Yeah, and I love the CBC, and I'm sure they're just ecstatic to have you on
Dude,
board.
I get away with more at CBC than I did at Much Music. I say stuff on the air, I can't believe it.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A hand for Geoff, please.